Sometimes it's by people who have power over us. But here's the deal. At some point in our lives, Brian, we all want to love. And when we reach inside for that love to share with another person, and it's not there, what we will do is we will stop at nothing to find the pieces of ourselves that we've lost, given away, or had taken away. When someone comes into your life who has that piece intact within them, your energy body will know that, and you'll be drawn to them like a magnet, and you won't know why. And you'll say, maybe I'm in love with this person, and maybe you are, and maybe you're not. So the thing to do is to silently, when you're in the presence of someone where you feel this powerful magnetic attraction, and you don't know why, and maybe you feel it's not appropriate, you don't have to lose everything you've worked for. Ask yourself this question. Engage them in conversation. Nice day, great weather, great looking tie. And in your mind, say, what is it that I see in this person? Or what do I sense in this person that I've lost, given away, or had taken away within myself? And before you even finish the question, those answers are coming. And sometimes they can be qualities that you aspire to. Self-confidence is a big one for a lot of people. Or a desire to give to the world. That is a very, very powerful magnet, because we all want to contribute in some way. Sometimes it can be physical attributes. This person has really cared for themselves, and I want that for myself. But you'd be amazed, because once we begin to understand what those attributes are, we don't have to lose a lifetime of a marriage or a job or a career to chase something we don't understand. We become conscious of what it is about that person. And then that opens the door. Once we recognize that, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes that opens the door then to the path to re-engage these things with ourselves.
With your own life, with your own self.
So I just want to say the Essenes, Jesus was of the Essene lineage. So not as a religious figure, but as a very learned man, I have a lot of respect for what he left for us. And in a text that was discovered in the Nag Hammadi Library in Egypt, 1945-ish, the oldest records of the Old Testament, before the church edited those records, there was a book called the Gospel of Thomas. And many people have never heard of the Gospel of Thomas because it was edited out of the biblical canon in the 4th century. But it was found in the Nag Hammadi Library. And in the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus talks about this third mirror, and he does it with a parable. And I'll just share it. It's a beautiful parable really, really quickly, because this is the way people learned in that time. He said, there was a woman walking down the road carrying a jar full of meal, still some distance from her home. He said, the jar broke, and the meal began to fall onto the road behind her, but she didn't notice that the jar had broken. And when she got home, she reached in the jar for the meal to feed her family, and the jar was empty. Okay, that's the parable of the third mirror. You and me, all of our viewers, we are the jar, we are the vase. And the meal inside the jar is our love. And through our lives, we will lose bits and pieces of our love as we compromise, give it away, it's taken away by those who have power over us. And we reach a point in our lives where we truly choose to love. Maybe it's loving ourselves. Or maybe it's loving another person, and we reach inside and we realize that we cannot love to the capacity that we would like to, because we've given so much of ourselves away. And that is the beginning of a journey to reclaim that love. And if you're in the right relationship, it's a journey you can share with another person. If you don't know that, if you don't know what's happening to you as a self-referencing being, then you will become a victim of your circumstances. And all kinds of ways of dealing with that through drugs and alcohol and dysfunctional relationships and things like that.
Wow.
So for me personally, I had to understand personally in my life, because I found myself reeling in relationships, including marriages, I won't tell you how many, that mirrored the dysfunctionality and the hurt of the family that I'd come from. And after I did that a few times, it took me a few times, I said, maybe there's a pattern here. What is that pattern? And as a scholar of ancient texts, I began saying, this can't be happening just to me. There have to be people in the past that have had these experiences. What did they learn that I'm only beginning to understand, and that led me to the Essene traditions. So what we've just shared is only one of those mirrors, and it happens to be the third mirror. And that's a very powerful mirror, because I think it plays out in all of our lives. And even after you have the mirror show up and you know what it means, doesn't mean it stops happening. What it means is when you feel that feeling, you say, I know what this is. What is it that I see in this person that I've lost, given away, or had taken away? What is it that I see in this person that can help me be a better version of myself? And as you begin approaching from that perspective, you can keep the relationships that you have without feeling the need to chase after. If it's an intimate or romantic relationship, or changing jobs or careers, because really it's all with us right here. It's what you began the conversation with. You said, different people, but the same experiences, different jobs, same experiences.
And I'm guessing if you go with that person that seems to fill that hole, that doesn't necessarily work out, because you're just a person with a hole and you're trying to get it from the other person, and the other person sooner or later realizes that you're not whole without them, and that probably ends.
Well, here's where it gets very interesting. Two people can come together and they can agree. So now we're going to talk about intimate relationships, partners, any way it works, male, female, male, female, female, whatever, however, it's all the same. It's just energy. It's energy coming together. Once the person that has lost, given away, or had taken away from them, once they are with the other person long enough, they typically will regain and rebuild those pieces within themselves. Then the magnetic attraction begins to wane. And if you don't know what is happening, you'll say, I'm no longer in love with this person. When the truth is that your love has been so deep that it has helped you become whole and complete version, a more whole and complete version of yourself. And then it's a choice. Do you say, now, do I continue my journey with the person that helped me find my wholeness? Or do I go chase, something else? Not right, wrong, good, or bad, but once we know this, we can consciously make the choice rather than unconsciously being pushed around the chessboard of life, following these feelings that we don't understand.